So let me tell you something wild right now. I think Crawford should fight him right now if he's ever going to fight him. If he wants to, if Crawford has it in his mind
to fight
Boots.
Compare it to this. Jaron Ennis, Terence Crawford. Jaron Ennis is Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter. Terence Crawford's Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan.
There you go.
Perfect. A+A.
And if you just look at the highlight reels.
Terence bought Crawford fight. I'm tired of answering questions about it. He already said millions of times that he not fighting me or looking my way, so I'm just tired of answering them questions, you know. And if a fight happened, it happened. You know, I wanted it to happen, but if not.
Jaron Ennis is done waiting. He's officially calling out Terence Crawford for a showdown at 154, ready to prove who truly runs the division and to expose what he sees as Crawford's hesitation. Just as things started to heat up, Eddie Hearn dropped a statement that shook the boxing world. He said, "Tell me a fight other than Crawford that you'd really want to see Boots in. That's realistic." That one line was like a spark in a room full of gasoline. It wasn't just promotion. It was a challenge to the entire division, making it clear that Crawford versus Ennis isn't just a dream fight. It's the only one that makes sense. Hearn's tone and timing hinted that something big might already be brewing. It felt like talk was turning into action, and the tension was undeniable. All eyes are now on Crawford, because if he stays silent, that silence might say more than any statement could. But just as fans began to believe the fight was close, Crawford dropped a response that changed everything.
They're going back down to 154 and face Jaron Ennis, the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight.
Nope. I ain't going down 154.
Crawford's reaction stopped the buzz instantly. The man everyone expected to dominate at 154 made it clear he's not going back for Ennis. That single statement flipped the entire narrative, leaving fans to question whether it was strategy or fear. Some say he's protecting his legacy. Others believe he's dodging the one fighter young and hungry enough to truly test him. Either way, it's only intensified the rivalry. Now, with the call-outs getting louder and the spotlight brighter, the clash between the old guard and the rising king has never felt more electric. Even Crawford's coach, Bomac, jumped in, adding more fuel to an already raging fire with his own take.
He got our leftovers. Why would Bud want to go backwards? Why would want to go backwards? Bud looking for bigger and better fights, so where he can etch his name in the concrete forever. I don't know, because I really don't look at none of the welterweight since we did clear the division.
Bomac didn't hold back in defending his fighter, and his words spoke volumes. Crawford, he said, has already conquered every mountain worth climbing, and going back down isn't part of the plan. But that statement only fueled the fire. Was it confidence, or a sign that Team Crawford wants no part of the young lion waiting at 154? Fans saw it both ways, and the boxing world exploded with debate. When a coach makes a statement like that, it usually means there's more happening behind the scenes. The rivalry has now reached a boiling point. Eddie Hearn wasn't pleased either. Crawford's refusal clearly didn't sit well with him, and his reaction made that crystal clear.
Yes, I mean, Boots is the best welterweight in the world. I mean, tell me a better welterweight than Boots Ennis. Impossible. There isn't one. So, he's the best welterweight in the world. I mean, we just finished a FaceTime with His Excellency, who asked me, will we...
Hearn's voice was filled with fury and disbelief. He couldn't believe Crawford would turn down the fight. To him, Jaron Boots Ennis isn't just another rising star. He's the real deal, the best boxer in the world right now, and the one who deserves the spotlight. Hearn's tone wasn't just frustration. It was a direct challenge to Crawford to prove otherwise. His message was clear. Greatness isn't about avoiding danger. It's about facing it head-on. With that, he reignited the debate that set the boxing world ablaze. But he didn't stop there. Hearn doubled down, explaining why Crawford's decision made no sense. He pointed out that many of Crawford's past opponents were well past their prime. A lot of the guys Crawford fought were, unfortunately for him, past their best. Hearn said, even though I consider him a generational talent, incredible in every way. It wasn't hate, it was honesty. Hearn acknowledged Crawford's greatness, but made a sharp observation: timing matters. Most of Crawford's biggest wins came against fighters already on the decline. The implication was clear. Crawford hasn't faced someone truly in their prime. That's where Boots comes in. Hearn praised Ennis as everything Crawford's previous opponents weren't: young, fast, and untouched by age or injury. He hasn't had eye surgery, hasn't been in a car crash, hasn't fought 80 times like Errol Spence or 68 like Canelo, Hearn noted. To him, Ennis represents pure hunger and raw skill, no excuses, no wear and tear. This wasn't trash talk, it was a challenge. Hearn made it clear that this is the fight that will define who's really the best in the world. And beneath all the passion, his words carried respect. His frustration didn't come from hatred. It came from admiration. It's not Crawford's fault, he said. He would have fought and probably beaten all of them. Crawford's a generational legend. But then came the question that hung in the air. If you're that good, why say no to Boots? That's what Hearn couldn't accept. In his mind, legends don't avoid challenges. They define them. He wrapped up with a touch of realism, acknowledging that Crawford has earned the right to choose his fights, and that money will play a major role. We've got work to do on our side to make that fight as big as possible, Hearn admitted. Despite his disappointment, he sounded more strategic than defeated. For Hearn, this isn't just about money. It's about legacy, about the fight that defines an era. And the determination in his voice made one thing clear. This clash is coming, one way or another. Then, just as the uproar over Hearn's comments began to settle, Jaron Boots Ennis himself stepped in, calm, confident, and brutally honest.
I want to do it.
Do you respect him as, like, when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so...
I understand it, but don't lie or kept to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said they called, and we said you never heard nothing else back about it. So
right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on.
Ennis didn't hold back, making it clear he's ready to face Crawford anytime, at any weight. But Crawford isn't ready for him. Still, Ennis spoke respectfully, acknowledging Crawford's greatness while calling out the excuses surrounding their potential fight. His tone wasn't angry. It was calm and confident, like a man who knows his moment has arrived. You could feel the shift when he told Crawford not to pretend he had other options. He wasn't pleading for a fight. He was challenging Crawford to step up. Go get your money, he said, sending a message that echoed across the boxing world. Ennis isn't chasing anyone. He's waiting at the top of the hill. Then another voice joined in, Coach Bradman Edwards, offering his own take on the Crawford situation.
At 68, and then when he do it, people move the goalpost. So I don't even want to get into no Boots and Crawford talk. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got into Crawford and Floyd, and Crawford and Floyd is the same years apart as Boots and Wichicombe. Nobody ever tried to make them fight. So I don't want to get into that because I don't really know if it's...
Redmond didn't buy into the hype. He slowed things down, speaking calmly but firmly to remind everyone that not every dream fight can happen right away. He drew a powerful comparison that made people think. Sometimes boxing generations simply don't line up. It wasn't about fear or avoidance, but about timing and perspective. Redman suggested that forcing the matchup too soon could spoil what might become a legendary showdown. His words carried weight, not because he shouted, but because they came from someone who truly understands the sport. He went on to explain why the Crawford versus Sis discussion might not materialize just yet.
Great if Floyd would have gave Crawford a shot, but he didn't, and nobody cared. It wasn't like it was a duck. It wasn't a duck. It was like they kind of different eras, even though they fighting at the same time. So I don't really know if it's possible because Boots will have to leave 54, and it's a bunch of work at 54. Crawford will have to come down from 68 and clear out 68, which ain't no guarantee. You know what I mean? It's like too much room. We got to see some more.
He broke it down logically, noting that both fighters are at very different points in their careers. Crawford is focused on moving up to higher divisions, while Dennis is still building his path at 154. Bredman's tone wasn't defensive, it was practical. He reminded everyone that boxing runs on timing, not fantasy matchups. Both sides still have work to do before that dream fight can truly happen. His perspective added depth to the discussion, balancing excitement with the patience boxing often demands. The message wasn't a refusal, but a simple not yet. And just as the debate seemed divided between timing and legacy, Max Kellerman entered and completely shifted the tone.
Wild right now. I think Crawford should fight him right now if he's ever going to fight him. If he wants to, if Crawford has it in his mind
to fight
Boots, you might as well do it now. What did Floyd Mayweather do with Canelo Alvarez? Now Canelo was already an enormous draw, and that's the difference. But he didn't wait till he got super old, and Canelo entered his prime.
Kellerman didn't talk about waiting or avoidance. He delivered his thoughts with his usual sharp precision, making it clear that now was the perfect time for Crawford and Ennis to clash. His argument reignited the excitement fans have been longing for, a battle between two warriors at their peak, the kind of fight that defines an era. He spoke with conviction, as someone who's seen too many what-ifs in boxing history. Kellerman's take rekindled hope that the stars are finally aligning. It wasn't just analysis, it felt like a rallying cry. Then stepped in former world champion Shawn Porter, who had faced Crawford himself and spoke with authority.
Because Terence is just
somebody getting stopped.
I don't know. That this fight right here, if this fight were to happen this year, it will go down in history as one of the classic fights that go with the Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns, that go with the Ray Leonard.
Porter spoke with genuine awe, imagining what a fight between Crawford and Ennis would mean for boxing. His tone wasn't about making predictions. It was about legacy. You could hear the respect in his voice as he compared it to legendary clashes from past eras. He painted the picture of a fight that wouldn't just be great, but one fans would remember for generations. Porter's perspective gave the matchup a sense of history and destiny, as if he could already see it becoming one of the sport's defining rivalries. His words carried both admiration and excitement, the kind only a fighter who's been in the ring can express. As he continued, his tone shifted from admiration to something deeper, a clear understanding of what makes both men so dangerous.
Because you got two alpha males in the ring that are true alpha males, you know what I mean? I was an alpha male until I got in the ring with that dude.
It just,
that dude, like, it was like, the more he wasn't allowing me to do what he wasn't, and it was like, damn, okay, well then.
He described the fight not as two boxers colliding, but as two dominant men stepping into the same space, refusing to yield. Porter's perspective carried weight because he had lived that reality and felt Crawford's presence inside the ropes. He portrayed the bout as a mental and physical war where neither man would back down. It wasn't just about punches. It was about pride, control, and supremacy. Porter understood the intensity such a clash would bring, the kind of raw energy that transforms a fight into a moment of history. Then came Shawn Porter, whose imaginative analogy drew everyone's attention. He broke down the Crawford matchup in an unexpected way, using basketball legends to highlight the generational contrast, Crawford's polished mastery versus a younger fighter's explosive energy. It wasn't just clever. It captured how fans see both men today. Zittle's mix of humor and insight underscored that greatness isn't only about highlights. It's about legacy, dominance, and longevity. His comparison made fans wonder if history was repeating itself, only this time with gloves instead of sneakers. Finally, Tim Bradley, never one to hold back, issued a sharp warning to those getting swept up in the hype.
I respect Ennis. Listen, I respect Ennis. I love his pops. His pops is cool. His whole crew is tight. You know what I mean? Like, but who the hell is Spence as Boots fought? It's a different type. Like, you can be riding that wave. You've been getting all these knockouts of all these other different guys, but you've never been in the ring with an animal like Crawford. And when you get in there for the first time and you get hit upside your head and you see that you can't do the stuff that you usually do against the guys that you fought, you know, at the lower level.
Bradley's tone carried the weight of a wake-up call to the crowd. While he acknowledged Ennis's talent, he made it clear that Crawford is a different kind of beast. Facing Bud, he warned, is unlike fighting anyone else. It's a whole new level of danger. Speaking from experience as someone who's battled top-tier fighters, Bradley wasn't criticizing. He was grounding expectations. He reminded everyone that flashy highlights mean nothing once you step into the ring, because the ring always tells the truth. His tone shifted from fiery to measured, like a mentor hoping to see potential realized, not wasted.
I would hate for him to get in this type of fight with Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I would hate for him to get in this fight and look average. Look average. Because if you go back and you watch a lot of, and he's a spectacular fighter. Boots is a spectacular fighter. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Boots. I think he's next. But he needs to be tested.
He showed genuine concern for Ennis's future, warning that rushing into a fight with Crawford could make the young star look ordinary too soon. Bradley's words came from experience and respect. He understands timing and the fine line between ambition and readiness. He believes Ennis is special, but still needs to prove himself before stepping in with Crawford. It wasn't criticism. It was tough love from someone who knows how fast hype can fade in boxing. His message echoed through the debate. Talent is one thing, but proving it against the best is another. In the end, one truth stands out. Jaron Ennis versus Terence Crawford isn't just another matchup. It's a clash between generations. Youth versus legacy. The future versus the present. From Eddie Hearn's frustration to Crawford's silence, Porter's respect, and Bradley's caution. Every voice adds fuel to an already burning anticipation. The boxing world now waits for the moment both men finally settle their differences in the ring. So what do you think? Is Crawford protecting his legacy or just being strategic with his timing? Is Ennis truly ready to face one of the greatest fighters alive? Will this showdown meet the hype or redefine boxing forever? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more of the hottest boxing news, reactions, and behind-the-scenes stories.